They sick of this Unapologetically Angel podcast. Now, the numbers from the podcast shows that fans are sick of it. Once again, I can't make this up. I'm showing y'all right now. She might need to get Castanet to come on to say this.
They're sick of it, plain and simple. Angel Reese's Unapologetically Angel podcast is losing fans fast, and the numbers prove it. This isn't speculation, this isn't hate, it's data. I checked the views myself, and what I saw was shocking. One episode featuring Jada Cheeves and Des Dior barely cracked 66 views.
Angel Reese's latest podcast decision has left her listeners disappointed, primarily due to her choice of guest. Yeah, I think a lot of people were like, who cares about these people? Honestly.
That's not a typo, 66. For someone who was once one of the most talked about names in women's sports, this is an unbelievable fall from grace. That episode, not about basketball, not about life as a pro athlete, just a full hour of talking about dating rich men. And Angel's core audience, hoop fans, were left scratching their heads wondering, what happened to the show we...
From hosting fellow athletes like Dejanay Carrington, Skylar Diggins-Smith, and basketball legend Lisa Leslie, to musicians like Sexy Red, Glorilla, and more, the Sky Forward received positive feedback from listeners and viewers. However, the most recent episode received mixed reviews.
Signed up for. Angel built her brand on basketball, grit, and authenticity. But this latest episode, it felt like Love Hip Hop the podcast. And it didn't stop with one bad episode. When fans voiced their disappointment, she didn't explain. She didn't clarify. She clapped back, hard. Her now infamous response? This is my podcast. Shut the fuck up. You don't watch, thank you. And just like that, boom. It wasn't just about a bad guest choice anymore. It became about her attitude, her connection.
Reese's podcast featured reality stars Jada Cheeves and Des Dior? I don't know. I don't even care. Who discussed their experiences on season 1 of BET's The Impact Atlanta, as well as their candid views on online criticism, dating, and careers.
To her fans, her brand, people who once wrote for her were now calling her out in the comments. Some even said they felt betrayed. One fan wrote, "I feel like she's forgetting why we started supporting her in the first place." Another added, "I came for basketball, not this clout-chasing mess." And then, here come the comparisons. Caitlin Clark, meanwhile, is packing arenas, dropping viral clips, and staying laser-focused on the game. She hasn't even launched a podcast, but fans are already saying if she did, it would blow Angels out the water, because Clark gets it. She knows how to connect without alienating. Let's be real, this wasn't a small creative shift. Angel's latest episodes feel like a total identity crisis.
The quote issue regarding relationships. As for Reese, she mentioned men's insecurities when it comes to women earning a higher income than their partners. Is that still a thing? That still bothers people? Okay. Quote, a lot of men don't also like women. My God, the grammar. What the bleep? A lot of men don't also like women that got their own. My God, folks. You read quotes from her, your IQ points just melt away.
From bringing on hoopers like Skylar Diggins-Smith, Dejanay Carrington, and Lisa Leslie, to suddenly spotlighting people whose only real claim to fame is Instagram drama and clout chasing. It's not just a pivot, it's a crash. People tuned in for the athlete, the trailblazer, the voice in women's hoops. What they got instead felt like a bait and switch. One commenter didn't hold back. This isn't it. It's like watching IQ points melt in real time. Others questioned if Angel was even still committed to basketball, or just chasing fame on red carpets. And this isn't just a content problem, it's a brand problem. You can't build a loyal fan base on one thing, then pivot without warning, and insult those who call you out. That's how you lose trust. And trust? That's everything. Even with the full backing of Shaquille O'Neal's podcast network, slick production, and serious promotion, none of that can save a show if the creator loses sight of what made the audience care in the first place. This is a case study in how not to pivot your brand. Athletes watching this, take notes. Building a platform isn't just about having a big name.
Following the interview, fans expressed their dismay over the responses they gave about money and relationships, feeling it overshadowed other important topics. Quote, they said a lot of nothing. The responses are dumb.
It's about listening, adapting, and staying rooted in authenticity. Angel had it all: momentum, a following, the platform. But when fans feel ignored, they vanish. Just like that, fans begged for change. Real suggestions poured in. Interview businesswomen, coaches, leaders in sports. But instead, we got IG influencers and shallow celebrity talk. One fan put it best: with all the amazing women out here, you chose rappers' girlfriends? Ouch, this could have been salvaged. A simple acknowledgement, a thank you to the fans, a promise to return to basketball conversations, that would have done wonders. Instead, Angel doubled down, and now her one
person added, quote, this is like the one podcast where 3 kids judge food they haven't eaten, laugh out loud. The same goes for a commenter who said, losing brain cells listening to this podcast. I just said IQ points were literally melting away from my brain pan as we speak.
This promising platform is barely scraping past 700 views, if that. Look, this isn't about hating on Angel Reese, it's about accountability. It's about understanding that the same fans who build you up can walk away just as fast if they feel disrespected. The fall wasn't random. It was avoidable. The real damage Angel Reese is dealing with isn't just a matter of podcast analytics. It's far deeper than that. What we're witnessing is a slow unraveling of her personal brand, the very foundation of her public identity. When fans support an athlete, especially in women's sports, they're not just buying into the highlight reels or the flashy endorsements. They're investing emotionally in a story of grit, of authenticity, of breaking barriers. Angel Reese had that story. She was the underdog turned champion, the unapologetic force who demanded her flowers and inspired a generation of young women to speak up, stand tall, and own their greatness. But all of that starts to unravel when you stop listening. When you begin to treat your supporters like background noise instead of the reason you're even in the spotlight, the trust begins to erode. And trust? That's the currency of every successful brand. The moment you lose it, everything else, the views, the sponsorships, the headlines, starts to collapse like a house of cards. This isn't just a content pivot gone wrong. This is a misreading of what made Angel beloved in the first place. Her fans didn't show up to hear about Instagram drama and who's dating who. They showed up to hear from her.
She's had a lot of rappers and these what I call D-list celebrities, which is the reality TV show. That's a D-list celebrity. They're not an actual celebrity, really and truly. It's not like they won American Idol, right?
You check out the comments. This one stated, you scrapped the baby. This one too. So fans is definitely still bringing up that the baby interview, which that one never came out. She received harsh criticism from her fan base for that specific interview as well.
The hooper who went toe-to-toe with the best in college basketball. The competitor who never backed down. The voice who represented something bigger than herself. But when that voice shifted from empowering to dismissive, from thoughtful to tone-deaf, that's when the disconnect became permanent. Now, brands are watching. Sponsors are paying attention. And in the high-stakes world of athlete marketing, perception is everything. If your brand becomes associated with alienating fans and blowing off feedback, that baggage doesn't just affect your podcast. It affects every deal, every partnership, every potential opportunity down the line. The collapse of Unapologetically Angel may look like a content misfire, but in reality, it's a warning shot for every athlete in the digital age. If you lose the people, you lose everything. This isn't just about the failure of Unapologetically Angel as a podcast. It's about the quiet collapse of a brand that once had the potential to be the face of a new era in women's sports. Angel Reese had something rare: organic virality, cultural momentum, and the backing of fans who saw her as a symbol of authenticity in a polished, PR-filtered sports world. She had the kind of cultural weight that can't be manufactured. It's earned, often through struggle, resilience, and moments that capture the public imagination. But what she didn't realize, or chose to ignore, is that brand equity has to be nurtured. It doesn't sustain itself on championship rings or viral moments alone. The moment you start treating your brand like a gimmick instead of a responsibility, you're walking on thin ice. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you show up. And Angel stopped showing up in the way her audience needed her to. Instead of evolving as a voice in women's basketball, she pivoted into shallow content that alienated her core supporters. People didn't come to her for gossip, clout chasing, or reactive hot takes. They came for substance, and when that substance disappeared, so did the loyalty. Worse, this shift has made it easier for critics, including those who never liked her confidence or her unapologetic presence to begin with, to write her off. And here's where it gets even more dangerous, because this brand decline isn't happening in a vacuum. It's happening right as the WNBA is entering a historic growth period. The league is being flooded with unprecedented media attention, corporate investment, and fan engagement. Caitlin Clark, Aja Wilson, Paige Buchers, Juju Watkins, they're all becoming part of a new media ecosystem that rewards consistency, growth, and strategic alignment. Everyone is building, not just their game, but their narrative. And Angel Reese, whether she knows it or not, is falling behind. The irony is brutal. The same woman who once was the narrative, the unapologetic queen of college basketball, the face of "you can't see me" defiance, is now in danger of becoming a side note in the story she helped write. Because when the culture shifts and you don't evolve with it, you don't just become irrelevant, you become the cautionary tale. The "what could have been," the player who had it all, the moment, the mic, the market, and lost it chasing vibes over vision. She's still a tremendous athlete, but here's the reality. The WNBA is filled with tremendous athletes. What separates the stars from the crowd isn't just skill. It's focus, discipline, adaptability, the ability to lead not just with flash but with substance. And right now, Angel's public persona doesn't scream leader. It screams lost in the noise, lost in the chase for social media relevance, lost in a performative version of authenticity that feels more like branding than truth. And fans can feel that. That's the problem. The public doesn't always have the right language to describe what's off, but they know when something's off. And with Angel, what once felt empowering and real now feels performative and defensive. The podcast, Unfocused, the interviews, filled with vague quotes and surface-level toughness. The on-court development, questionable. No clear evolution in her weaknesses. No real change in the way she approaches the game. And without growth, all that bravado starts to sound hollow. The scariest part? The window is closing, fast. Because once public trust erodes, it's not just hard to win it back, it's damn near impossible. Ask anyone who's fallen out of favor in the modern sports spotlight. The fall is steep, and the climb back is unforgiving, especially when you've alienated the very audience that once rooted for your rise. This isn't about whether Angel Reese can recover. It's about whether she understands the stakes enough to want to. If she keeps coasting on old headlines and Instagram moments, she's not just risking her brand, she's risking her future in a league that has no patience for distractions, especially when you're not dominating the box score. Look, this isn't about hating on Angel Reese. It's about accountability. It's about understanding that the same fans who build you up can walk away just as fast if they feel disrespected. The fall wasn't random, it was avoidable. So what now? Can she bounce back? Maybe, but only if she listens. The blueprint is right in front of her. Show up for your base, keep it authentic, and stop chasing clout over content. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. And if you're looking for real basketball talk, check out the video on screen right now. We keep it 100 over here.